4 states just set a timeline for the end of their mask mandates in schools, with the Democratic governors of Connecticut, New Jersey, and even the president's home state of Delaware among them. And Randy Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, seems to be on board.
I think we have to be talking about the off-ramp for masks, and we asked for that conversation that's based upon science instead of politics back in November before Omicron. No one wants masks in schools, not teachers, not students. But, you know, it's time in this COVID pandemic to actually do a little bit of planning based upon science as opposed to just announcement by announcement.
But the White House, surprise, surprise, still pushing for masking in schools.
The CDC is still recommending universal masking in schools.
That's correct, and that still remains our recommendation.
So are you pleased with and fine with the New Jersey governor's decision?
Again, our advice to every school district is to abide by public health guidelines. It continues to be at this point that the CDC is advising that masks can delay, reduce transmission.
Masks for the kids, but not for the White House press secretary. Bret, starting with you, it's interesting. You have the American Federation of Teachers. Their line seems to be something along the lines of, you know, we're for an off-ramp, however, maybe not right now. But what's curious is you're seeing all these states, blue states, bucking the CDC. We know the CDC previously was at least having some of these teachers unions review their guidelines on reopening schools. And here's the Chicago Teachers Union. They reacted Friday after an Illinois judge ruled to temporarily halt the governor's executive orders on masking and quarantining. And in part, their statement read this: "We expect the mayor and CPS to act responsibly and uphold our agreement to require masks, providing KN95 masks for every adult and child in our schools. This is what the overwhelming majority of Chicago parents and families support." So at least some of these teachers unions seem to be in line with the CDC as blue states bail in droves.
Yeah, I mean, this is not insignificant. The fact that you have governors in blue states turning the decision-making. Here's what happened. The science did not change.
Right.
The politics changed. And that is what I think you're seeing a lot of the places across the country, is that people are saying, wait a second. We have now seen study after study overseas and our studies here in the U.S. that say it is minuscule, especially for kids in school. And the detriment from studies, including one out of London, says that psychologically kids are really taking it on the back as far as the ability to recognize other students and to not interact properly.
Right. And Julian, you know, Bret makes the point this isn't about science that's changed, it's about politics. I think that's exactly right. I was interested in this tweet that I saw by Michelle Exner. She works for Kevin McCarthy in his leadership office. And she said this: did a DCCC, that's of course the Democrat campaign's House arm, did a DCCC memo go out today alerting Democrat politicians that America has had it with mandates? Because it really was like dominoes. You had California, Oregon, all of a sudden out of nowhere, and nothing changed with the science.
You were right. Bret is right to point out that the science has been immutable through most of this. It has not changed. The politics has changed. The other thing that has changed, Kayleigh, is that we're now getting more information about the deleterious effects all of these sort of preventive and protective measures are actually having on the nation's kids. So the question that states and cities now have to grapple with is, when do those risks outweigh the proposed benefits? So we know, for example, to Bret's point about mental health, that anxiety and depression among children has doubled during the course of the pandemic. We know that suicide attempts by young children under 18 are up 51%, and landing those children in hospitals, in ER rooms nationwide. We know that eating disorders resulting in hospitalization for young girls under 16 have increased by over 120% during the course of this pandemic. Scientists and doctors are attributing all of that to the effects of isolation. So this is now the key billion-dollar question, you could call it, that state leaders, city leaders, and school leaders are going to have to grapple with. At what point do the risks, the new risks, really outweigh the perceived or proposed benefits for our kids?
That's right, Emily, and there's a new study that Bret mentioned out of London. I think when we get daylight from COVID-19, from this pandemic, what we are going to see is the absolutely deleterious effect that this COVID-19 mandates have had on America's children. Child abuse reporting down as schools were closed. The list goes on. Kids, rely on schools for school lunches. The list goes on, and you've looked at the study.
It does, and frankly, it started spiking right away. I mean, I argue that it's actually not a recent risk. It's been happening this entire time. We have watched the tragic decline of the mental health of our students and our youth. And contrast that with, for example, what's happening there in Virginia in Loudoun County, where we now know that there was guidance issued to the principals and the school board there of issuing warrants for the arrests of youth if they don't comply with mask requirements. It details a detailed plan of how exactly to obtain the warrants, how to serve via law enforcement within 24 hours, and included guidance against restricting parental involvement, restricting them from the campus. Here's what I find so ironic. We have in that same state a law passed there that says we have to follow CDC guidance in school, right? That's part of the argument they're using to say, no, we have to keep them masked. But that same CDC reports, to Jillian's point, a 51% increase in suicide attempts with girls alone, 31% across adolescent boards. We have what's known as a river of referrals of mental health emergencies. We have the National Academy of Pediatrics calling it a national health public emergency. And yet these are the same resources that the school boards are using to terrorize the parents, frankly, and to ensure the kids are kept masked, now drawing in criminal law for it. It's absurd. And unfortunately, the cost here, the collateral damage, is our students' mental health and their lives.
Yeah, and here's my question for the CDC. Well, I have a lot, but I'll keep it simple. Just to your point, are they only singularly tasked? Can these people not multitask? Like, you got to be able to take a look at all those categories and figure out where the harm is, right? And this is a mighty, mighty number of harm. It's a percentage of harm that if you had 51% of anything that was overtaking a segment of the population, you'd pay attention to it. Like if it were COVID's evil sister, you'd pay attention to it. It's Omicron, you paid attention to it. Can you not pay attention also to well, I guess some people would argue that teachers union have a problem with our health, but we won't go there right now. But I mean, if you want to look at mental health as that category over 50% of where people are suffering, why can't they take a look at that along with what they're doing? And by the way, parents that I'm talking with and having on the Faulkner Focus now are telling me that this is more than just whether or not the White House believes in the CDC. This has to do with some of the parents don't believe in the CDC anymore. So which part of the CDC do you want us to trust? Do you want us to trust the part where they said, masks, just mask for the kids? Oh, by the way, the cloth masks actually don't work against Omicron, but maybe they do, but maybe they don't. So maybe you wear two, but then you need this certain kind of N95. And we're going to send them to every household. But wait a minute, we can't get them to every household. We're struggling with the post office to try to get the tests out too and everything else.
Right.
I mean, this is less about whether or not the White House trusts the CDC. This is about whether American parents can trust the CDC along with the White House to have their kids' best interest at heart, since they are so singularly focused on one thing and not that mental health component. They can't multitask.
And whether parents can trust the media, because this soundbite has really gone viral across social media. This is CNN alleging that the science suddenly changed. This is their main health expert. Let's take a listen.
I don't think anyone really is saying that no one should ever wear masks, but rather that the responsibility should shift from a government mandate imposed from the state or the local district of the school. Rather, it should shift to an individual responsibility by the family.
Quite a change from Dr. Liana Nguyen. Harris, I also, as a journalist, just want to get your perspective on this. MSNBC, look at how they report when a mask mandate is lifted in Virginia. In his first 10 days, speaking of Youngkin, he's gone backwards towards Trump. Experts discuss VA governor banning school districts from requiring masks. But when a New Jersey governor does it, a blue governor, here's the tweet. This is the right step. New Jersey governor lifts mask mandate.
So backwards toward Trump when fewer people were dying from COVID. When the vaccines had just come online and people were actually embracing a message about being vaccinated to protect themselves and not believing some of those on MSNBC who said you could never get it, like Rachel Maddow. No, that's not what vaccines do. That's not what the flu shot does. That's not what any of them. They keep you, they help you build immunity to whatever it is. So if you get it, you stay alive, you do better. I mean, I'm confused about where the role of the media thinks it should be, right? I think that they think that they're bigger in our lives, and we're part of the media. And I know all day long that when I go to the local Acme or Piggly Wiggly, if I'm home in the South, if I go wherever I go shopping, people are happy, we see each other, watch on Fox, whatever. But I am not the most important part of their day. You know what helps them? If I happen to be in line and have some facts I can share with them to make their life better. Other than that, Harris Faulkner is just another shopper. That's how I look at these people across channel.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too cynical here. I don't want to be too skeptical, but as we get closer to the midterms, this ability to then provide liberty, to then say we're lifting all of this stuff because everything's getting better, suddenly becomes a political thing. And they're going to try to take credit for the change of COVID, whereas the data has kind of been there from the beginning.
Bingo. President Biden tried to have that Liberty from COVID celebration last July. I think they're going to endeavor to do that this July, just before midterm.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.